Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Are you ready to learn to speak Chinese? And I don't mean that derogatory to any Asian folk that might be listening, but learning to speak some form of Chinese language might become beneficial in the future because it looks like in every possible way they're trying to do a hostile takeover. And what is scary is that our own government is aiding and abetting them. Oh, craziness. I guess McCarthy was right with the things that he warned us of. Not saying that I agree with all of his ways, but here we have an American government and leadership that they're like opening the doors open and welcoming them in for coffee and helping them along with, completely taking over and dominating America on this planet. And if you aren't aware of it, we'll get to that here in just a moment, because it's like the elephant in the room, let's just say, with all the stuff that's going on. And I think it's certainly, it's worthy of addressing and being prepared for it. If you don't mind, go ahead and click the like and subscribe button if you like the video, of course. I mean, I don't expect you to like something that you don't like. But if you do so, it, kind of helps spread the word of this channel and that kind of stuff. And if you're looking for extra content that I produce that is a little bit more personal, you can go over to my Patreon channel. It's only $1 a month to get your foot in the door. There's a link in the description below. So the G7 summit is going on, and it looks like that they have come to an agreement on a global tax. Yes, you've probably heard about this. This has been talked about for quite a while now. But in the last few weeks, it's really been building up steam, and we're hearing more and more about it, that there's this push for a global tax. It'll be used to combat climate change and carbon emissions and, all this kind of stuff. But here's something interesting. So apparently, Biden and Boris Johnson have come to an agreement on it, and most of the G7 have come to an agreement on this global tax. But there's a little caveat. There will be exemptions for certain regions of the world. And guess who's going to be exempt? Ding, 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 ding. That's right, China. China's going to be exempt. I mean, everyone else is going to be paying extra taxes. I mean, here we have our economy, like we've been talking about lately, is just bursting at the seams, and not in a good way. It's about ready to pop with inflation. And we saw that. I don't know if you saw this. I'll put this up here. It's not the topic necessarily today, but the newest inflation numbers have come out, and it's up to 5% inflation. The Janet Yellen was saying that, they expected it to be around 3%. No, it's 5%. This is the worst numbers we've seen since 2008 recession. And so we've got all this stuff going on. We've got a government that's spending itself in debt like just some drunk. I mean, there's nothing holding it back. In fact, the Federal Reserve has recently, in the last 12 months or so, said, "Oh no, it's a blank check. Whatever we need to spend, whatever we need to print, whatever we need to, doesn't matter. There's no limitations anymore." And so we're doing this is all happening, and then we're going to impose a global tax on everybody. And of course, that's going to affect you and I. I mean, obviously it is. But the big point is right now that I'm trying to get to is that China is going to be exempt from that. Kind of like China is exempt from the Paris Agreement that Joe Biden has, rejoined. We've rejoined the Paris Agreement. But there's more to it than just this. We've also got all this stuff going on that we've talked about lately, is all this hacking and stuff. And even though the recent hacking official story is that it's out of Russia. We know for a fact that China is a big player when it comes to computer warfare and cyber warfare. And we had the FBI director speaking at some type of intelligence committee hearing, and he flat out said that there's a lot of attacks that's happened, and there's a lot more on their way. He said that the cyber attacks are at exponential growth. And now I understand this is the FBI director, and these guys at the FBI, the only way you know when they're lying is when their mouths are moving. But I think this is probably a correct assessment, maybe downplaying it. But the fact is that we've got China involved in that. Have you seen Pinball Preparedness? He's another YouTube channel. A lot of you guys and gals watch him. And his most recent video, if you haven't watched it, you should go over and see it. It's a pretty good one. And he talks about how with all this influx of illegal immigration crossing our borders, that there's been a major influx from China. A lot of Chinese nationals are crossing the border and coming into the country. And I mean, do we completely know why they're doing that? I don't know. We've got this whole, lab, this, level 4 biolab that they're wanting to investigate, that they think that this whole health crisis come from. And because of that, there's a lot of saber rattling now going on between China and the U.S. and other countries. And the saber rattling that China's been doing, they've been doing it for a long time. And it's like they're trying to they're trying to push a fight. It's what it appears to be. They've been warning their people in country to prepare their citizenry, to prepare the Chinese people for a war, because they say it's inevitable, it's happening. And so they've been preparing that. They've been preparing their military. They've been increasing the amount of training, and they've been just going crazy on their production of military equipment and their naval, fleet. They've been trying to just, expand that at great numbers. So all I'm saying here, and there's a lot more, I'm not covering everything. There's certainly a lot more. How big is a Chinese threat? How big is China a threat to us? I mean, we've seen what they can do with just releasing a simple, illness. We've seen in the past what they can do technologically when it comes to cyber warfare. But what else are they capable of? And are we looking at an actual physical war? Or are we just looking at this big takeover of our ideology, a takeover of America, where they virtually own everything? I mean, they own so much infrastructure already, so much of the businesses and the bridges and all kinds of stuff. Farmland is owned by China. All along, while we just sit here and just kind of, think that it's a good thing, well, they're giving us money, they're buying all this stuff, they're selling us cheap goods, or they're helping us increase our profits, and people can go and buy cheap stuff at the store, and it's a good thing. And all the while, we just ignore the fact that the Chinese are communists. They're Marxist communists. And even though they might look like this big, booming business, capitalistic type of country, it's not true. They're a communist nation. And they desire to be the world leader. They desire to take us over. Joe Biden said that just a few weeks ago. The Chinese have been saying that for months and years, that they want global domination. They want to be the premier nation on this earth. And the worst part of that is that they no longer have to come and take us over with bullets and bombs. I mean, we have people in our own government, right in the White House, that have just, welcomed them in, and we're like doing them a favor and helping them out. Obama just not too long ago said that this current administration is just a basically a third term of his administration, that the vast majority of the people that's working in the White House currently were once working for President Obama. Like we didn't already know that. Why doesn't he just come right out and say that he's a Marxist? Why doesn't the White House just say that they're aligning themselves with Marxist ideology, and they want to create a deeper partnership, an alliance with China? I mean, they might as well say it, because that is what we're doing. You probably should learn to speak Chinese. Mandarin or Cantonese, I don't know. Maybe a little of both. I say that jokingly because at the last meeting that we had here just, this past week, that was one of the things we were kind of joking about at the meeting, is that maybe we should have a class on learning how to speak a Chinese language to get us prepared for what's coming. But will we have that Red Dawn moment? I don't know. I kind of think not. I could be wrong. And maybe we will have that Red Dawn moment where we wake up and they're parachuting into the nation and, attacking in that manner. But the Chinese, the communist Chinese, they are methodical and they're patient. And I don't think that they want to do that. I don't think that they want to completely destroy us in that manner. I just think they want to absolutely control us. They want to control our business. They want to control the influence that we have on the rest of the world. And they want to spread this communist virus, which is what exactly it is, everywhere they can. And they know that if they can take down America, they know that they can take down pretty much anyone in the world. And right now, and it's been this way for a long time, the Chinese are pretty much the global ambassador of communist ideology. And too many people in this country are bamboozled by it. They think it's a good thing. And, that's a topic for another video. But there is most definitely a threat there. I believe there is most definitely a threat when it comes to cyber warfare. There's a threat when it comes to economics. There's a threat there when it comes to, bioterrorism. They've announced that I think they're going to be building 4 or 5 more level 4 biolabs, that they're, we're just going to mix up a big concoction and oops, that one slipped out too. Of course, funded by our own government and supported by people in our own government and American citizens, prominent, wealthy American citizens that will remain nameless in this video. We have to be aware of this, and we have to get prepared. The fact that if this continues going on, if this administration continues moving forward unfettered, with no one stopping them, because it doesn't appear like there is anyone that can stop them. The Republican Party, it's like they're being completely neutered. They get up and they make this rebuttal little comment that, well, we just don't really agree with this right now. We really think that we could come up with a better plan than this, but they do nothing. There's no one stopping this progressive communist Marxism in our own government. And so because of that, I would highly suggest that you continue to prepare for the day that we are no longer the prominent leader of the world, and that this communist Marxist ideology has taken full effect here in the United States, because that is certainly what they are doing. And this has been going on for decades now. And they have infiltrated our education system. They have brainwashed, 1 to 2 generations of American people to where they think it's a great thing, and they have no idea what American patriotism is. They have no idea why communism is the evilness that it is, because all they see is that, well, there's a lot of good things that come out of China, and there's a lot of good things that come out of communism, and you know, why oppose it? Because it's this perfect utopian world. And I'm afraid someday they're going to find out that this perfect utopian world doesn't work. And we're starting to see that with many things in our nation, and probably predominantly right now, the economy. That you cannot run an economy this way. You cannot become a socialist nation with an economy like this, and spend like this, and expect that everything's going to be okay. So folks, if you know how to speak a Chinese language, you'd probably better off. But seriously, we have to be prepared for what we're facing, because the communist Chinese, they're trying to steamroll right over us, and our own leadership and our own government are just laying down and letting them do it. And it's like you and I are out here alone, trying to defend ourselves against this growing evil of communism. All right, folks, get yourself prepped up. Get your house in order. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I'll catch you in the next video.